and find out. Okay, so let's discuss some trust issues in reference to teams that are clinching at a playoff berth, or maybe they're already clinched, but they're still giving you trust issues kind of heading into postseason. So, Stephen, what are your thoughts?
So the way I see it, the team, this might not be popular, or it might be popular, but the way I see it, being first in the NFC, it definitely has its perks, all praise and good fortune. And I mean, right now, that's where the Packers sit. They're first amongst that whole conference right now. And I say this because KC's first on their side. And when I say KC, I feel like these guys can push it to the Super Bowl and make it to the Super Bowl, no problem. But when I say Green Bay, I don't feel that same type of feeling thinking about them. I don't look at Green Bay and say, you know what, these guys are going to be able to push through every single team that they see in the playoffs and make it through all the way to a Super Bowl. The one small word I think that everyone can bring to mind is overrated. I think they're kind of overrated, guys. And minus the one win over the Saints earlier, these guys have mostly wrapped up their wins against subpar squads, and they found their way to 10-3 all of a sudden. I think from the 10 wins they've got, the record of those teams are 31-50. So they're not really out here playing no winning squads. I mean, every once in a while they may have a matchup against a Tampa Bay, or matchup against the Saints, and they might have to show out. But their division, let's be honest about it, their division is lacking, and they're obviously the cream of the crop of that division. My problem is their last 3 wins. You look at them coming over the Lions, the Eagles, and the Bears. Oh my, how dangerous is that, right, guys? It's nothing really. But when we look at their schedule ahead, they're facing the Panthers, the Titans, and the Bears. I mean, that's the Titans are the hardest challenge out of the 3 of those. I mean, the Bears are going to be a division rival for them, have been, but the Titans will probably be the hardest matchup. I could see them going 3-0 easy. But the thing is, I want to keep looking ahead, and I want to keep looking ahead to teams that they might have to face, the tougher defenses. It looks like right now, Aaron Rodgers, since 2017, he's been 6-12-1 against any of the top 10 scoring defenses in the league whenever he's had to face them. This season, he's gone 1-2 against the only team he defeated was San Fran, who we know they've taken a lot of injuries to their defense, so he wasn't seeing their real defense. But then he lost to Tampa Bay's defense and to the Indianapolis Colts defense. While he didn't have the worst games against these guys, and he doesn't have the worst games against these defenses when he sees them, what it does when they play these good defenses is it opens up the holes in that Green Bay defense that they have. Right now, that defense is allowing one of the league worst 25.8 points per game, and to opposing QBs, 101.8 passer rating. I mean, looking at those numbers going to the playoffs, you're going to face some tough talent. You're going to be facing some top-tier quarterbacks, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, possibly Drew Brees when he comes back and he's healthy. And right now, I'm looking at that defense from last year for Green Bay, and those guys were monsters. I think they finished 7th in the league in takeaways, and they were a top-ranked defense. This season, they're tied for 30th in takeaways. Like, they're not doing it. They're not getting pressure on the quarterback so much. They're just not that team or team defense that we can rely on. So I think this is something that we really have to look at. That offense clicks, and I'm not going to lie. That offense has power, and they can put up numbers. But if that defense isn't there to provide help on the back end and save you guys some of those possessions, and it becomes a shootout with certain teams, who knows how these Green Bay Packers are going to face it down the line. I'd be a bit worried if that were them. They might get that first-round bye, but after that, it's going to be dangerous waters.
It's wild because that's sort of the issues we kept facing on our social media and people backlashing. Well, where are the Packers? Where are the Packers? They're good. It's Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams being the best, 1-2 punch in football right here in this moment. Their defense is awful. They can't stop anything against the run. And you think about it, they get off to a big lead, and the Lions couldn't end up establishing the run. That's why Matt Stafford had to play how he did. So I don't trust them too much. But I have a little bit of faith in Rodgers and Adams. So there's 2 teams, one in the AFC, one in the NFC for me. AFC, we've talked about them the last 2 weeks, the Steelers. I can't trust them right now. They have no run game. We saw Josh Allen. When that defense was shutting down Josh Allen, Brian Daboll made some adjustments, and all of a sudden Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs are cooking. Diggs was open wherever he was on the field. So for me, coming to playoff time, are you going to face a team like the Titans? All right, you can shut down Derrick Henry for a period in time. You got A.J. Brown and Corey Davis, and Corey Davis is having his best year yet. We know what A.J. Brown is after the catch. He's a monster. So to me, there's issues around not only that offense, but the back end of their defense. We know the offense, Ben can't throw it deep. When they throw it short and can't catch it, like Deontay Johnson was doing the other night, or they can't get yards after the catch, it's tough. It's really hard for them. So there's so many questions to answer there. To me, I don't trust them. And the other team, the Saints, and they went on this big run, right? They won 9 games in a row. The teams they faced were not good. Their average, so these scoring offenses they faced were an average of 19th in the NFL. Some really bad teams here, right? And still, all right, yeah, their defense has been picking it up. Yeah, against bad teams. And they just got beat by a rookie quarterback in his first start of a horrific offensive line and really limited weapons. So for me, there's a lot of questions to answer with this Saints team. Their offense, we know Taysom Hill, right? We know what he is. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. I think if Jameis Winston was out there, maybe their offense looks a little bit better, but we haven't had to see that because they are winning games against these bad teams. Alvin Kamara isn't getting used to his full potential. Michael Thomas isn't getting used to his full potential because of Taysom Hill throwing him the ball. When it comes to playoff time, is it going to be Taysom Hill or a really banged up old Drew Brees? A lot of questions to answer. And if they aren't in the dome, if they're playing outside, there's going to be some questions to answer there too. And guys, the last couple of seasons, they've kind of shrunk in the moment. Minnesota, they were walking into that game like they were going to blow them out. Minnesota ends up winning in overtime. Again, a couple years back with the Rams, I get there were some missed calls there. They were still up by double digits in the fourth quarter. I still don't trust this team. I need to see something take them over the hump and Drew Brees to start throwing it like it's 2011 again for me to really say that's the cream of the crop in the NFC. I don't trust them right now.
You guys bring up great teams, and I think it's obvious, right? You go with the Steelers, and you look at their team, Nolan, you said it. They're one-dimensional. Their offense is the same. It's a bunch of third, fifth, third, and fourth downs, and they try to get a slant here or there or do some pick plays. There's no creativity whatsoever, and teams are going to catch on to that. That's what Buffalo did. T.J. Watt, since Bud Dupree's been down, where's he been, right? He hasn't been the defensive player of the year that we've all used to seeing him play. Now, mind you, he was getting some pressure on Allen, but hey, he was stepping up, finding Diggs wide open. I'm talking wide open. I think there was a series where he caught the ball for, 6 times in one drive? That's what it seemed like. Who was it? Number 14 again. And the Steelers, I don't think they're a good team when it comes to adjusting. I think they rely on that defense so much, and you should, right? They are a talented defense, but they've lost key pieces. They've lost Bush, and now they've lost Dupree in the back end. There's still some problems. Minka Fitzpatrick, where have you been? Last year, you were all over the field. I had you as my defensive player of the year because I'm thinking another year in this system, you're going to absolutely explode. I didn't see you at all. I didn't see you once on Sunday night. And I'm looking at this Steelers team, and I thought they were going to be a team that could come in here this year and take down Baltimore. Now, mind you, Baltimore's not the team we all thought they were going to be, but I thought they could do that, and they've looked good. Again, they still won 11 games, so you got to give them credit for that. But they're not there. I could see them getting bounced to round 1, especially if it comes up against one of their teams in their division, like we just said. If they come up against Cleveland, I think Cleveland takes them down. I think also Baltimore. It's very hard to beat a team 3 times. I can see them taking them down. Even Miami maybe making them some problems. I don't trust the Steelers right now. What I've seen, every time they go up against a good team, they do not win. Plain and simple. Washington, look at that. Great defensive line. Couldn't get anything going. 3rd and 5s aren't going to work in the playoffs. Teams are going to catch on to that. And can they consistently put up points when you got to go up against a team like Buffalo, like we saw, like Kansas City, Tennessee? They can put up points. I don't trust the Steelers at all.
And you think about this, some of the plays that the Steelers were doing is they were down by double digits, and they would just leave Jalen Samuels just sitting there for a screen pass. It was Ben would look right. All right, I got no slants. I'll fire over a screen over here and pick up 3 yards. And it's not working. So I don't know why they haven't made any adjustments yet. I'm with you, Luca.
That Cleveland Steelers game, the Browns Steelers game at the end of the season is going to be a very telling game for what it's going to be looking for like for the Steelers heading into the playoffs, I think.
Agreed.
Yeah, I definitely think you're right there, Steven. I mean, I think we're at a point in the season where we've seen a lot of teams that were doing so great in the beginning. Now, we're 14 going 15 weeks in, and a lot of the teams that weren't doing so well are now starting to shine in the light.